it was very tough because it felt like it's sympathy. Like, oh, this guy wants a chance. It was just sympathy, pity. The year was 2003, where I signed up for a public speaking class, right? Knowing that I will probably need that skill at some point in time in my corporate world. The instructor was Terence, he's a lawyer, and he was running this class, and he showed us a winning speech of Jim Key. So this is an international speech competition organized by Toastmasters. It was 2003 where he finally won. He competed in 01, 02, and he's always second place, he never won, but finally at 03 he won. And the title of his speech was, "It's never too late to follow your dream."
There she stood.
For the first time in my life, I actually cried listening to a speech. I mean, you cry at movies, you cry at songs, but you never cry at a speech. I've never had that experience before. I cried because I saw myself in him. I was like, oh, wouldn't it be nice if I can be on stage to make people laugh, to make people cry, to make people so moved by my message that they will do something about it. In other words, I just want to be an influence, an inspiration to people. And I saw that in him. Jim Key on one level inspired me, but Jim Key on another level totally destroyed me because he raised the bar of speaking so high. I thought that that's how it should feel like as a professional speaker, and I did. 5 years later, I became a professional speaker, gave my first overseas speech in Malaysia. 15 people came, 7 were my friends whom I invited, 5 were like real audience, and 3 were just aunties and uncles that just passed by and they just sat down to rest their legs. And nobody looked very inspired. Everyone was like, why is he here? What is he talking about? And I was there trying to, it's never too late to follow your dream kind of thing. I was so discouraged because it was so far away from what I envisioned myself to be. And at the back of my mind, I felt like maybe I should wake up, and go get a day job and stop dreaming about being a speaker, being a person of influence. It's not as if my life is very inspiring in the first place. What gives me the right to be a speaker? So I remember when I started my career at the beginning, I was battling with a lot of internal conversations about myself. Self-doubt, not good enough, and it doesn't help that the people that I meet, customers I meet, they don't really support me. You know how like soccer or basketball, where your friends will pick the team members, and I'm always the last to be picked. Always the last, and I felt the same way as a speaker. I'm always the last to be selected, and even if I get selected, usually it's for free. Okay, they ran out of budget, or if they have no budget. And then when I step into the class, there will always be somebody who will raise their hand and ask me, "How old are you?" And not in a very nice way. I would say, "Oh," I'll tell them my age, and they were like, huh. Like very obviously. I remember one lady even looked at me in the eye and said, "The amount of salt I eat is more than the rice you eat." And in my head, I was thinking, if you eat so much salt, you're probably going to die of kidney failure. Obviously I didn't say that, but it was like a big blow to my ego, and it was really tough. I mean, I'm a hustler. I take pride in being a very self-motivated person, but it came a point in time where I was so motivated that I will fail. I believe very much that I will fail. There was one incident that I will never forget. I fought my way to be part of a learning festival. I fought. I don't know, my early part of my career has always been a lot of fights. Like the other speakers, they are invited, they're given chance, and I have to fight. I literally see myself crawling my way to an opportunity. To an extent, sometimes you have to beg for opportunities. And I remember one time I was fighting my way for a learning festival, and they said, "Eric, we have no money for you. Okay? If you want, sure, we'll give you some exposure." So I did, obviously. I said yes, right? And I came with my luggage and everything all ready to inspire people. And no one was there. It's like everybody was busy doing their thing. I was like Mr. Invisible. And then when the next speaker behind me came, everybody was like, "Oh, he's a speaker!" And everybody started crowding around him, taking pictures, and then taking him to the room, offered to set him up, offered to get him drinks. And his class was fully packed. And then I was like struggling to find my room. And I remember when I entered my room, it was still dark. The room was not set up. I have to arrange my own chairs, set up the boards, and it was very tough because it felt like it's sympathy. Like, oh, this guy wants a chance. It was just sympathy, pity. Yeah, just, well, pity this guy. Let's give me a chance. And later I found out that actually everybody was paid except me. It was very tough. But the thing is that because I never wanted to show my weakness to people, I always try to show a positive side. So I'll go back home. I remember, Mom, how's your training? Oh, it's good. It's horrible. But and the worst thing is to know that your parents are, because back then my dad's working as a taxi driver, my mom was a clinic assistant, my sister was trying to figure out her life. So obviously everybody's relying on me to support the family, and I felt like I've disappointed them, let them down. They sacrificed so much for my education, and then I gave it all away, gave up my scholarship, and became a speaker because it's never too late to follow your dream. That was what Jim Key said. And I think the turning point was when one day I overheard a conversation, and my mom came back, and obviously she was being bullied at work, and my dad said, "You quit lah, right? Your colleagues are so bad to you, you quit." And my mom said, "I quit, then who's going to support the family?" And it was like another blow to my, here. So if there's one thing I've learned through this early part of my journey, looking at all the very successful speakers, looking at how my customers treat me at first, I learned a very difficult truth. And that is, nobody is going to appreciate you until you become a somebody. That's just the truth. Until you become a somebody, people are just going to ignore you. They're not going to appreciate you. They're going to celebrate you. So, but fortunately, if you read enough books, you kind of try to get yourself up, right? I remember I read a quote that says, "You are the average of the 5 people you hang out with." And I told myself, if I want to be a somebody, then I should start hanging out with somebodies, right? So I started researching all the somebodies in the speaking world. There was like Frederick Herron, there was David Lin, there was Shirley Taylor, there was Ron Kaufman. These are like big names, So I started spending a lot of time with them. There was one particular mentor, his name is Ron Kaufman. He is the leading authority when it comes to customer service. Whenever you go to the Singapore airport, his face is always stick on the big bookstores, right, of his book. He was a somebody. And I remember approaching him and said, "Ron, would you be willing to mentor me?" And he said, "Yes." Changed my life. All of a sudden I realized that, hey, my dream of becoming a global speaker one day may come true. He taught me everything he knew. I remember coming to him every week, to his house in the East Coast. I'll meet him, he'll teach me how to become a better speaker. He'll teach me strategies on how to promote myself, everything. He taught me everything he knew about becoming a successful speaker. But for some reason, there was no breakthrough for me. It's got nothing to do with him. It's just somehow there was this glass wall, that it just doesn't get through. Like I remember when I was on stage, no matter what tactics he taught me, there was still no stage presence for me. I was still seen as a very local Singaporean speaker. Whenever we are negotiating for my fees, I would struggle to ask for a higher price. He did say you should put your content out on LinkedIn and Facebook. But I had so much fear in putting my content out there because I was a nobody, right? And now what? You want to become a leading authority just by putting content on social media? So it was tough because I thought he was my magic pill, right? I thought that with his coaching and mentoring, everything will work out, but it did. And one time I remember when I went to him in the morning for mentoring, there was no board, no laptops, everything was blank. It was just an empty room, empty table. And he said, "Eric," he looked me in the eye, he said, "Eric, I think I know what's the problem." I was like, "What's the problem?" And in my head I was thinking, is he going to fire me? Like, is he going to like crush that dream of mine and that, you know, remove that flame, whatever flame that was left? So worried. Because if he abandoned me, then that's it, no? Who else will want me? He looked me in the eye and said this with so much loving kindness. He said, do you even see yourself as a somebody? And it was like this, silence. I was like, what do you mean? Do you even see yourself worthy to be a global speaker? Do you even see yourself worthy to be paid $10,000 for a speech? Do you see yourself even worthy to be on a stage with thousands of people listening and learning from you? Do you even see yourself as that? That you deserve all these things, that you're worthy to have all this attention and all this adoration and all this platform to influence people? Do you even see that? I could not say a word because I knew the answer here. And he said, Eric, until you see yourself as a somebody, people will always treat you as a nobody. And like a little mouse, I was like, how? And he smiled and he said, well, this is your first assignment. He pushed a piece of paper to me. Right now, I'm gonna prepare breakfast. You write down everything that you like about yourself. I was like, okay, that's a weird exercise. I said, you don't stop until you come up with like 100 things you like about yourself. I mean, maybe 2 things I could still write, right? 100 things that I like about myself. Start writing like, I like that I'm open-minded to learning. I like that I'm self-motivated. But I remember I knew by the time I hit 5 or 7, I could not write anymore. It's just stuck. I have no idea what I like about myself. I don't think I'm good. I don't think I'm very likable. I don't think I have a lot of things that I can be celebrated for. And that was when tears start dropping. Like, I don't know, it's that tears of, what happened, man? Why am I so unlikable? Why am I not even celebrating myself? And it all starts to connect. That perhaps the reason why I'm not celebrated, it's because I never even celebrate myself. That the me I see in myself is how the people see me, and that's why they treat me the way they treat me. And that changed my life. A huge turning point for me. Because I started to focus inwards on looking for things that I could celebrate about myself. And then I took his advice and I started to treat myself better, to respect myself better. But it doesn't mean I give myself excuses, but it's just that I change how I see myself. There's a saying, right? Everything is created twice. First in your mind, then in reality. That was the very first thing I saw. I stopped seeing myself as a Singapore trainer. I see myself as a global speaker. Now, true, I might only have 20 people in front of me. I might be at a far corner of a room right now teaching. But every time I teach, I see myself as a global speaker. I see my participants wanting to learn from me. I see my customers fighting to sign me up for an engagement. It's not happening yet, but everything is created in your mind. And every day I fight to see that reality. I even bought a world map. One day I'll take you to my house, right? This entire wall, okay, it's almost the size of this window right now at the back. And I bought a map from Vivo City at Nat Geo store. It's a world map right in front of my bed. Every morning when I wake up, the first thing I see is the world map. The last thing I see before I sleep is the world map. And every day I'll tell myself, Eric, one day the world will become your stage. The world will become your stage. I was like, I want to go this place, I want to go that place. I want to be a global speaker. I want to be like Jim Key. And wow, it's been 10 years. And true enough, the world opened up. The world opened up immediately when you see yourself worthy of doing big things like this. And from Ron, I learned that really, until you see yourself as a somebody, you will always be treated as a nobody. It all starts not by you trying to brand yourself, market yourself, or sell yourself. No. It all starts from you having a positive image of yourself. It starts there. You do not need validation from other people. You just need to step into your greatness and just see that you are that beautiful, you're that amazing. Even if the world doesn't believe yet, even though there is no facts or evidence to show that you are an awesome speaker or awesome person yet, no, if you can see it in your mind, it can happen. And I remember, I think the biggest breakthrough I have this year was being conferred CSP, the title CSP. It means Certified Speaking Professional. It's been given to the top 12% of the global speaking fraternity. And oh my God, I was told that I was the youngest guy to ever receive it. We don't see a lot of Asians receiving that Certified Speaking Professional, so I'm super honored to be one of the Asians, one of the few Singaporeans to have that title. And when I went out on stage receiving that certificate, a big ass certificate, right? And then my mentor Ron was just right in front of me. I'll never forget the picture I saw of him doing this, and then Jen with tears because she was with us. Jen is Ron's wife. They're with me every step of the way. And I remember when I look at the video again, I saw David Lim, the guy who climbed Mount Everest, Shirley Taylor, a super dynamic speaker, Frederick Heron, a global speaker, my president of APSS, and they were all beaming with pride. And you know what I saw? I saw for the first time what they saw in me. And it was so awesome. They've always seen a somebody in me, I just did not see it. It took me 10 years to see the somebody in me, and so good. I do not need to be the guy waiting for someone to pick me up. I just gotta pick myself up and pick me, choose me. I'll choose myself, and the world will choose me. That was what I learned through these 10 years of my speaking journey.